Shadows in the Smoke is intended for mature audiences and may contain material that some people find disturbing. Please see the episode description for content warnings and listen with care. Before we get into today's dusk phase, I want to briefly step out of character and share that as of the time of this recording, it has been 6 days since the release of our very first episode.
Yay! Okay, go. We're allowed to talk about it. Yay!
Yeah, we're allowed to talk about it. Yeah, so how is everyone feeling? I know it's very early days. By the time you all are listening to this, we'll be all the way in June, but for us, it is in the middle of May, and so it's all very fresh right now.
So excited, so thrilled by all of the support we're already getting, and can't wait to do more.
Yeah, already it's been so cool to see a bunch of people listening, like folks I know and also brand new people that I'm just getting to know.
Yeah, the response has been so nice, and connections being drawn between cast members and audience members, and I'm feeling fully called out whenever I'm reading off my notes now, knowing that there are reactions happening I'm not privy to because my view is elsewhere.
Just leave it to me and Kim to troll anyone, because Kim and I can't control our face, and anytime someone says something, Kim and I are both like
It's true. Yes. If you're not following us on social media, I would recommend that you do so. You can find us at Kitten Marlowe most anywhere, but it's a excellent excuse to watch Cass and I make funny facial expressions as people are trying to do serious narration.
It's all really us just delighting in how thorough everyone is. It's so complimentary. It's not in any way derogatory. Kim and I are just oh, I like that, but that's so funny and cute.
It's also so fun. The Instagram and the Discord, the engagement got me so excited for this next session too. It was we get to play again with all the people and make the thing.
It has been very exciting. It's been so much work, but it's been such good work. It feels good doing this for ourselves. I've spent all day yesterday editing Behind the Masks, which is our bonus video podcast that we're going to be doing. Vidcast? I don't know what. Anyway, but yes, it's been so great. And honestly, seeing the reaction on the Discord after the first episode has been huge. That's what made this feel really real, I think.
Yeah, so if you would like to get involved on our Discord community, if you would like to give a listen to our behind-the-scenes show, Behind the Masks, you can head over to patreon.com/Kitten Marlowe. Tiers start at just $2. If that's not in your budget right now, totally understandable. If you're enjoying the show, we'd appreciate giving us a review. You can rate us on your podcatcher of choice. You can also email us at kittenmarloweproductions@gmail.com if you just want to drop a line and tell us that you're enjoying the show, or if you have any questions or just want to say hi. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Yay,
Thank you.
All right, everyone, Serious Space is back on. Let's go to the dusk. I have a brand new feature to introduce to you this dusk phase. That's right. Every session, we're unlocking more and more of this game.
Gasp.
So, the dusk phase is designed to set up the night phase. And last session, you all went about London. We did our unseen. That is what is now going to be referred to as a London night phase. I'm now here to introduce a new use of your night phase, the Hargrave House night phase.
Ooh.
I just got goosebumps. I'm nervous.
You all live in a very grand, very mysterious, very old house that has a lot of secrets and a lot of history within it. You may choose in your dusk phase to spend your night phase exploring one of the rooms of Hargrave House. What this means is that during your night phase, your hunters will take no actions. You will not roll any dice. You will not get an unseen. You will have no opportunity to resolve a threat that night phase. So it's a pretty costly decision to make. Let me tell you why you might want to do a Hargrave House night phase. If the hunters choose to explore Hargrave House during the night phase, pick a room in whatever way you see fit and assign a prompt to each player. The entirety of the night phase is spent resolving the Hargrave House room prompts. At the end of the phase, each hunter gets to claim one item mentioned or implied during these prompt narrations and add it to their personal quarters. And the room is now unlocked. I have 26 rooms in Hargrave House available for you to explore.
We're never going to get through them all. I can't wait.
And each room will unlock a custom move or a resource that you can use for the entire rest of not only this season, but just the campaign in general.
Oh.
And they can be really powerful, sometimes game-breaking custom moves.
I also love the idea of like living in a house and being like, you know what? I've been here for a couple weeks now. I should find out where the kitchen is.
Exactly. But yeah, so I will let you all ruminate with that. Maybe we'll see if we feel like doing a Hargrave House night phase tonight or a night in the future. But first order of business, I'm owed some moves, please. Mr. John, I would like the quickening, if you please.
My body is so ready for this.
I'm so scared.
All right, I'm rolling with composure or sensitivity. So 0 or 0. That's an 11.
Dang. Okay.
The story, is like, save that, wait for that.
John has it under control.
Fully in control of the curse.
Yeah.
All right.
For now.
So I just have a 10 plus hit, which my body is stronger and faster. Dope. And I roll with advantage when taking vitality actions until the next dawn phase.
That could be useful.
Oh, God. Don't
It's
say
the
that. I'm
side eye
scared.
for me with that.
Secondly, Miss Douglas, are you interested in doing Moonlight Upon the Waves tonight?
I am not, because I think I know what we're doing with our night phase today.
All right.
Getting a snack.
From the kitchen. Hargrave House.
Oh, lovely. Now I would like to invite you all to answer a question, should you like to. We are currently at 8 clues for Sally No Face, and we are at 3 clues for the Demon of Kilburn Abbey.
Gang, you wanna answer some questions about the Sally No Face?
I think we should.
I think we've got a shot.
I feel like we can safely hit where is the killer hiding or how is the killer choosing their victims.
Well, Robert, I think you have a pitch for what is the killer's true identity, right?
Oh, yeah. I want to hear what Robert's got.
Yeah, I'm going to make a pitch for going for what is the true identity of the killer. And part of that pitch is we do still have this threat's mask available. So even if we roll a failure, we can't technically fail this roll.
Sure. My only resistance to that is who cares? I mean, I do want to know the true identity, but it was like, I don't know, the way it was pitched to us was like, and then we understand their motivations. I was like, fuck them.
So all it says is that you resolve the threat by empathizing with the killer and then bringing them in peacefully. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of ways that is somewhat open to interpretation. All that means is that Sally won't resist capture. It is kind of up to you as to what is happening once that moment has happened.
Just want to be friends with her.
The completionist in me is also like, well, yeah, let's go for the A+ question. If everybody's down with that, I'm down to go.
So your clues for Sally No Face are as follows. A receipt for several bolts of very expensive fabric, which fell out of the dapper boy's pocket. Rumors of Clara Yarborough frequenting a townhouse in a stylish neighborhood that is always well lit at night. A gold embossed card inviting Miss Douglas to an extraordinary new exhibit of art and medicine, but no address or date is given. Rumors of Dame Margaret Teasdale going on about having discovered the Fountain of Youth. A name currently without meaning and whispered by the Lady Thames. Victoria Callis. Dolly Merriweather's finger, perfectly preserved, the subtle smell of indigo, and a Sloyd knife, which is used for wood carving. All right, so who's got a pitch for Sally No Face, and what question are we setting our sights on?
So my pitch for what is the true identity of the killer and what drove them to this madness, complexity 8, is that Sally No-Face is no other than Vittorio Clemenza.
Fucking yes! That's what I was gonna say.
Vittorio Clemenza, aka Victoria Callis,
Yes.
when they go out in women's faces
Ooh.
to masquerade as the gender performance of their choice, which I can empathize with a little bit more. The means leave something to be desired, but I think that Victoria Callis and Vittorio Clemenza are one and the same.
I have no future in detective work. I didn't clock any of this.
I'm the GM and this is taking me by surprise.
I kind of love it. I was kind of on board initially with the complexity 6, how is the killer choosing their victims? But I love this combination of what Robert and T are describing. And now I think this is the winner.
See, I think we could still go down to the complexity 6 and just describe how Vittorio is choosing his victims. But I think the obvious clues here are the receipt for several bolts of very expensive fabric, instantly ties it to them. The subtle smell of indigo being a dye, would also make sense for Vittorio.
If we're implying that Vittorio is also the mysterious figure, that would tie them to dropping the invitation and the Sloyd knife, which is a woodcarver's knife. Their mask was like made of wood.
It's true. And also, like, you know, this isn't a clue. And obviously, I didn't know where you were going to lean this answer. But in the scene with Miss Douglas, just this last day phase, Vittorio did intimate that he knew the nature of Miss Douglas's transformation, which would lend credence to.
And there's only one person.
Yeah. And Sally watched it.
And took an interest in you. Also, this gives Vittorio prime access to be able to invite well-to-do nobles to this townhouse in the wealthy neighborhood, which I think is the location of the exhibit. I think the secret of the Fountain of Youth is being displayed here, which is kind of involves some kind of living embalming or waxification with this perfectly preserved finger. But I think all of that is happening at the same place. And Vittorio talking to the people who know how to dress. Also, we've got, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have the woman with the sapphire necklace at the modiste's shop.
Yes, Ina made eye contact with her in the carriage while I was getting fitted for my dress.
Yes, exactly.
And as for what drove them to madness, speaking as someone who has worked both in garment construction and retail, I think that's enough.
Not while I'm sipping my coffee,
yes.
Robert.
I'm going to need more of an explanation, Robert, than just an irate costumer.
I was going to suggest trying to create these beautiful garments, these beautiful designs, only to have them not appreciated by the people that he's putting them on, or the people that he's putting them on aren't beautiful enough to live up to the garments.
So now he's making people more beautiful to be worthy enough of his garments.
His design.
Yeah.
This is very interesting because he's the one who spilled the tea on Margaret Teasdale. So it's possible he was trying to advertise his own services.
Oh, interesting. That's also valid.
I also think there's something to be said for the inverse of that, which is not making them beautiful enough to be worthy of the garments, but these people who think they're so beautiful and think they're so important. Yes, I have also worked in retail and in the hospitality industry, and the richest motherfuckers are the people that you want to punish the hardest. So give them what they want to their own detriment.
Well, here's the thing though, is Clara wasn't rich though. She's from Whitechapel. She was poor.
It's true.
No, but she was beautiful. So you're giving these young, beautiful faces to these old, rich biddies, but you're also
I see.
trapping them in this expressionless body where they can't emote themselves because their emotions are the worst.
So it's kind of a genie thing. I'll give you your wish. I'll make you beautiful, but you'll live to regret it.
Absolutely. Yeah, full monkey's paw.
Ooh. Y'all are so smart.
Have we done it? Have we solved it?
Are there any we haven't
I think we
used
have
yet?
to roll in order to figure out if we solved it.
So let's see, we've got the receipts, the townhouse being the location of the extraordinary new exhibit of art and medicine, that invitation being given to Miss Douglas because Vittorio saw Miss Douglas in the modiste and saw the pelt and followed her. Margaret Teasdale, having discovered the Fountain of Youth, Margaret Teasdale obviously would be visiting the modiste. Mayhaps the exhibit is where this kind of proto plastic surgery is happening. Victoria Callis being the sobriquet that Vittorio Clemenza uses while they are operating as Sally No-Face. the perfectly preserved finger, maybe hinting that in addition to sealing faces, Sally is engaging in some like living embalming going on, which is very interesting and freaky. The indigo being just a common dye used in the garment industry, and a sloyd knife for wood carving employed in the creation of Sally's mask. That all lines up for me. This is going to be a flat roll if we're going for the complexity 8 question. Let's go ahead and read the answer a question basic move. When the hunters have an open, freewheeling discussion about the answer to a question once they have gathered a number of clues equal to at least half the question's complexity and reach a consensus, roll plus the number of clues incorporated into the answer or otherwise explained away minus the question's complexity. On a 10 plus, the answer is correct and an opportunity can be pursued. On a 7 to 9, as above, but the keeper will add an unwelcome complication to the answer and/or pursuing the opportunity will be more dangerous. On a 6 or below, the answer is incorrect and the keeper reacts. On a 12 plus, the answer is also a mastermind clue. The answer a question roll can never be taken with advantage or disadvantage. The success tier can be increased by putting on the mask of the past, but only if every hunter does so. Alternatively, if the threat has an unused mask associated with it, it can be put on to increase the success tier of the roll without additional masks needing to be used. So who's feeling brave? Who wants to roll a die?
I believe in us.
I volunteer as tribute.
Why don't I take one of them and you can take the other? That way the blame's not on either of us.
Responsibility. I like split responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Also, I know we're not solving this question, but I did want to pitch that indigo is the marker for how Vittorio would choose their victims.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
All right.
Ready?
Go forth.
Someone say something.
I got a 6.
I got a 5.
Oh, we did it! Baby!
That's an 11.
Can we do the mask anyway to push to a 12? Like, we got nothing to lose.
We can.
Well, we can save it for when we're
Confronting her.
facing them, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought this was our last opportunity.
I am down to use it eventually. I do want to.
I just want to use them all.
I think we hold it for safety for the confrontation to make sure that that's not like a fail.
And then if we need to bump that one to a 12, then we do
then
it
we can. Then we can burn it then.
Okay, great.
All right. Well done, hunters. So you have now unlocked the opportunity to resolve Sally No Face. I will remind you all that threats can only be resolved in the night phase. Of course, you can always wait for another night phase to do it should you want to. It's just now the opportunity is available to you. So, speaking of that, have we decided, hunters, on whether or not we are going out into London tonight or whether we are staying in?
I mean, we gotta go to London.
I think we
Yeah.
I think we
No,
gotta
no.
go deal with this.
We can get a snack anytime.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not hungry for that anymore. I'm hungry for blood.
We're going to an art gallery. There's going to be like
There will be
Canapes?
cheese and wine and stuff.
Hors
Yeah,
d'oeuvres.
exactly.
Servers who see where we're coming from.
All right. Well, I could hazard a guess, but I do officially need to ask you all. Hunters, one by one, what is it you plan to do tonight in London?
Buck up Sally No Face. I mean, resolve a threat, sorry.
Going to the exhibit.
Yeah, I'm ready for this exhibit of art and science.
Setting a trap at this exhibit of art and science.
All right. Now it's time to introduce the unseen. I would like to go to the theater. Tonight's unseen is a night at the Grand Guignol. Good for her. Every class of people in London is represented in the audience at the Theatre Grand Guignol. They have come to watch a production of Good for Her, a story about a nanny that murders the upper-class children in her care. Paint the scene. As the limelights pop to life and the crimson curtain is raised, what do we see as we scan the stage that shows how the nanny lives a modest life compared to the rich family she serves?
As the curtain comes up and we see the characters for the first time, the children are dressed in fine silk garments, but we see the nanny darning her own woolen socks as she waits.
The set is built in such a way that it looks like the nanny goes downstairs to a basement in order to go to her living quarters, but the actual basement is on a second floor above the rest of the house. The house downstairs, beautifully appointed wallpaper, chandeliers, grandfather clocks the whole nine, but the upper part of the set is just bare wooden with no decoration to speak of.
And I think in that room that she resides in, there is only a single window on the wall. And this window is foggy and grungy and dirty, whereas like all of the windows downstairs are very beautiful, letting in a lot of natural light. And then there is also a crack, like an opening in one of the panes. So there's just a constant draft in the nanny's quarters. So she's just never warm. She never experiences warmth.
We see in the set dressing where the nanny lives a simple table with mismatched chairs and only a single place setting with silverware and a plate and a bowl, versus the bottom floor of the house where the family lives has a grand table with many gilded chairs, chalices and plates and finery galore.
So off we go to Vittorio Clemenza, or Victoria Callas's exhibit. I must ask, hunters, this is a quite fancy, stylish affair. What are we wearing tonight?
Maisie has donned a new dress that she got from Vittorio's the other day. That is, while still tartan print and woolen, it is a much more fine cut. It's not so like everyday. The gown is much longer. There are details to the bodice that are made in pearls and in gold. And she wears a few more trinkets and jewelry, so a lot of gold hoops, gold bracelets on her wrists, and shoes, because she has to.
Morgan is wearing his finest clothes, which is on a sliding scale, admittedly. Black trousers, no patches or threadbareness to them, a simple cotton shirt, a Harris tweed vest, and a black sack jacket that is not the nicest in the world, but at least is clean and whole. He is still wearing his thick hobnail boots, though.
Mr. John is wearing a checkered suit, so it's very fine, tight squares of dark gray on black, with a matching waistcoat, a very high, stiff, starched collar, but this almost garishly like carnation box pink bow tie with a matching kerchief, and for the occasion doffs his Stetson and replaces it with one topped hat. But his shoes, as always, scuffed, travel-worn, and comfortable.
Miss Thanero this evening is wearing an immaculately tailored full men's tuxedo, like a suit, like the highest thing that you can have on. That is what she is rocking tonight. She has a very similarly starched collar to Mr. John, but with a gold cravat that is dimpled with a shiny, like, owl's eye in this immaculate green that's, like, kind of similar to some of the color that's in her eyes. She wears full, like, white gloves on her hands. There's gold rings over the gloves. A beautiful, like, white, brand new, contrary to everyone else's shoes, a brand new, like, white leather shoe with a 1-inch heel. Very nice for the times. Her hair is immaculately sculpted. There's 2 gold olive branches kind of circling back in a halo through it. And then she is also carrying a black cane with an owl head topper on it this evening. And naturally, her gold sunglasses, because we do wear our sunglasses at night in this house.
And I have one more question for everybody. I know we all live and work at Hargrave House. Is this the first threat we resolved together? Like, this is the first time we're all coming together to use our various abilities.
I think so. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah, it feels right? This feels kind of like...
Origin story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we're getting ready. One shot, though we can like dress the part, is still kind of uncomfortable in like a formal suit that's not like broken in, and is adjusting and taking it down, looking in the looking glass, and goes, my 30s, I was all over the plains when I wasn't, anyway. I don't suppose y'all out here have anything to compare them to. The plains, that is. The ocean, maybe, but the plains ain't like the ocean. The ocean fences you in, keeps you jailed to this island, fixes itself as a threat to those who dare try and tickle the horizon ere they earn the skill. The plains dare you toward that horizon, coax you in deeper, lure you, saying it's just over this next ridge.
Spent the better part of the 50s knee-deep in sawgrass learning how to hunt from the Lakota, the son of an abolitionist friend of mine, a long-haired kid. Called him Pahaska. In my 30s, he must have been 8 or 9. Anyway, we were tasked with a great hunt. Now, sometimes you hunt buffalo, you hunt elk, something to feed your kin. Sometimes you hunt so y'all don't get hunted yourself. Wolves, you get them hungry enough, come down to the plains to bag a buffalo themselves. There's a myth, sort of a romance in my homeland of the lone wolf. Something of a mascot, plenty of pioneers eking their way toward the Rockies fix themselves on a lone figure out against the elements. But those same men that lionize that lone wolf forget about the other people that circle their wagons with a campfire at night. A lone wolf is a goner. Wolf can't survive without their pack. Hunters need one another. And I tell you what, a lot more dangerous than any wolf pack is a bison herd. There's something to be said for safety in numbers. I got a telegram from that kid who's, well, his career didn't turn out what I'd hoped for him, but, told me there won't be much left in the plains but the wolves soon. All this is just to say, when you're trying to hunt something that hunts you, you have to use live bait. Some small, unassuming critter, a wounded heifer, or a baby deer. And I take out an indigo handkerchief and press it into Mr. Lloyd's shirt pocket. Or a rabbit.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Mr. John, I do not know what a bison is, but I have to disagree that the ocean is a fence. The plains are actually much more what is keeping you contained if you really think about... Not, your diatribe was wonderful, of course. Very colorful.
Diatribe?
Sorry.
I would have thought of that as a rallying speech to get the blood pumping. We got serious work doing here tonight. And Miss Douglas, I don't mean to affront you when I talk of the ocean like this. I'm speaking to folks like Miss Thanero and Mr. Lloyd and myself who are unable to traipse about it as you seem to be able to.
It would really suit you to take into consideration who you're talking to.
Never had much skill for that, and I doff my top hat. I do apologize.
It's all right.
But that's part of my point. All of us hunters, we got something special that we bring to this. I got y'all's back when it comes to a fight, but I don't know how to suss out who I'm talking to or what I'm supposed to say to them once I do.
I think at this point, Enid just slowly walks up to Mr. John and starts to straighten his bow tie. Well, darling, when it comes to social status and knowing how to navigate a room, I've got that talent in spades.
And I'll be sticking close to you.
That sounds delightful.
And I think right before we leave, Maisie looks at what everyone's wearing and goes, "You're all wearing trousers! No one said I could wear trousers! Oh, it's too late now!"
She just stomps outside, just mumbling.
And as she stomps outside, I turn to the other two and I say, we especially have to keep an eye on that one.
Agreed.
Let's go back to the theater. Natalia, describe Act 1, in which the two children are very abusive towards the nanny.
Act 1 takes us through the nanny doing her job and simply trying to take care of these two children who are in her care. And all they want to do is disobey. They want to throw their toys across the room at her. They want to knock their bowls of food to the ground and spill it and stamp it into the carpet. They want to jump on the beds even though they know they're not supposed to. Anything they can do to torment this woman, they can, and they will.
I'd like to take us all to the exhibit. Your carriage pulls to a stop in front of an enormous townhouse. Yours is one of many carriages on this street that are parked out front. The townhouse itself is relatively nondescript from the front, other than the blazing, burning lights shining out of every window, the sound of music and dancing and riotous voices inside. A man in a trim suit stands near the front door, his hands clasped, his face wrapped in gauzy white fabric. As the four of you approach, he holds out his hand. I'm afraid this is an invitation-only affair.
Maisie starts digging through her dress. She's like, "This would have been so much easier if I had pockets. Fuck." And pulls out the invitation that was presented to her. It's for the four of us, I presume. There's hardly any information on it, but I just assumed it was, yeah.
Welcome, Miss Douglas, and guests.
Thank you.
And he steps aside, and the door is opened for you. As you enter the exhibit, The sound of music greets your senses first. It is loud in here, and there is a press of people dancing and drinking and laughing, having rendezvous in corners. You enter into an immense foyer. There's staff in the same trim suits, the same bandaged faces that are passing, holding silver trays of little canapes. But most notably, there are a number of mannequins displayed all over this foyer, each one wearing exquisite finery. Each one displays a face or part of a face that has been nailed to the smooth, featureless expression of each mannequin. Musicians play furiously, ceaselessly, each of their faces wrapped in bandages, seeping blood. I have a paint the scene for you all here. What do you see or experience that is beautiful on the surface but entirely artificial underneath?
There is an exquisite display of roses absolutely filling the corners and reaching up to the ceilings of the room. But as you get closer to them, it becomes very apparent that both the roses and their leaves are simply made of paper.
There is a long, elegant banquet table set for easily 100 people. Each place setting has multiple plates, hundreds of glasses on the table, and all of the silverware is gold. But as soon as you pick one up and scratch it a little bit, the gold starts to flake off, and the metal underneath starts to show through.
In the center of this room, there is a beautiful chandelier that looks like this incredible, cut glass. It looks incredible, it's dazzling, but when you get up close to it, it's all rough edges, it's not refined. Instead of beautiful crystal, it's almost just grungy shards of glass.
Many of the guests attending this party, rendezvousing in corners, appear beautiful from the outside. There are men dazzling and, waxing about their prowess with women in the corners. A careful eye could see the exchanging of banknotes, and that inspires the tittering laughter and appreciative listening.
Hunters, what are you all doing here?
I feel like Ina is gonna stay rather close to Maisie. I feel a very big sense of protection. She's clearly on one today, just really feeling herself, and I feel like that could be a dangerous emotional state for her to be in without supervision.
The morning's opium largely worn off. Morgan is somewhat paranoidly looking around for potential exits, small alcoves where he could get alone, anywhere where he could hide, run, or get an intimate moment with someone.
Mr. John is keeping an eye on Mr. Lloyd, and I think doing a similar perimeter sweep, keeping an eye on for exits, but in the inverse way, looking for places where somebody would strike an ambush, where somebody could get him alone and then try and take him out. So less for privacy and safety's sake, but more for security, for defense.
And Maisie isn't going far, but she is creeping ever so slowly towards the dance floor with every passing moment.
Mr. John does notice that and then thinks, Lloyd's got his own devices and also kind of zeroes in on that dance floor.
Mr. John, as you are approaching the dance floor, one mannequin catches your notice. It is dressed in a red velvet gown, the very gown that you gave Vera Hale just a few weeks ago.
I go up to it. It has a face pinned to it as well.
It does. It is the face of Vera Hale, nailed to this mannequin and painted in exquisite makeup.
I finger the fabric of the garment and I'm rubbing it in such a way it is starting to bunch and threatening to tear under my thumb as I'm gritting my jaw. And I'm doing everything in my power to look at this mannequin as if I were appreciating it like an art piece. But in my mind, I'm flashing back to every night that I've had with Vera, every time I've spent my evening with her, every story that I've told her, everything that she was brave enough to share about herself with me, and something more animal seeps into my posture.
Oh, no. No. No.
This was the result of you not choosing "You Don't Draw Any Unwanted Attention" from last night's As Cruel as the Harlot's Curse. You not picking that basically sealed Vera's fate.
God damn it, there being consequences to our actions.
And not for me.
Especially because you said in, I think, episode 2, you had an exchange with Vera where you said, if you don't want your face ending up like Clara Yarborough's, I suggest you tell me what I want to know. And I was like, sometimes the players give you their own foreshadowing.
Bro.
Motherfuck. Everyone stop talking to Kim.
Dang.
I was trying to be cruel, only to be kind. Whatever semblance of a plan One Shot had vanishes. Whatever, like, we're going to, like, dress up in well society and, like, pretend and, oh, I got your back and, like, I'll watch your exits. That's gone. Now this is a revenge mission. Now I'm out for blood. And I take off my top hat and I put it on top of the mannequin, smooth my jet black hair back, kind of flick my hands out, and I begin looking around at the socialites, not as somebody observing an out-of-place environment, but as a hunter.
Mr. John, as you are scanning this room, you hear a young voice pipe up.
Well now, it was not wise to tell Miss Hale about me, sir. She got it in her head to tell me to stay away from you, try to get rid of me. I don't like being spoken down to, Mr. John.
I kneel down so that I'm at eye level with him. Well, let me tell you what your mistake is here. Because if you had just heeded this young lady's warning and steered clear of me, you wouldn't have caught my notice. Because let me tell you something, son. I'm done speaking down to you. I'm done speaking to you at all. After tonight, the next thing you hear from me will be the last thing you ever hear.
Miss Thanero, as you are moving through the exhibit, you hear a voice call out.
Well, if it isn't my darling Miss Thanero to find you here in all places.
Ina, like, visibly, like, just takes this, like, very deep, like, in through the nose, like, absolutely trying to just calm, because she's here for such different reasons. And Dame Teasdale is not one of those reasons. So I think she just gets steely. And then she turns around with, like, a wicked smirk. Absolutely not thrilled to see this woman right now. Oh, my dear Margaret. It is a delight to see you out this evening.
I do find you in the most scandalous of places.
One could say the same for you.
Isn't this party absolutely delicious? You know, this is where I met my very good doctor.
Oh my goodness, really? I never would have guessed. I mean, look at all of these beautiful creations, from the faces to the garments. It is a dream.
Yes, you know, I could, perhaps, introduce you, should you like to.
Oh goodness, really? I absolutely wouldn't want to be a bother.
All in good time, but first, drinks.
Oh yes, please.
And she slips an arm around you and starts leading you off towards the waiters holding champagne and canapes.
And I think she goes, but I think Ina is absolutely laying in wait. We're just looking for a window.
Mr. Lloyd, lingering on the edges of this party.
I can't help but admire your choice of pocket square.
Thank you, Gov. It was a gift.
Gov, I do appreciate your unorthodox nature, sir.
You turn, and you are speaking to a very finely attired woman wearing a sapphire blue choker at her throat.
Didn't mean no disrespect by it, ma'am.
I assure you, I have been called much worse.
Well, I have to say, it seems we matched tonight.
It is my signature color.
And a lovely one it is at that.
Miss Douglas, as you approach the dance floor, You hear a slightly muffled voice say, "Might I have this dance, Miss Douglas?"
You may if you tell me who you are, seeing as you know who I am.
You turn to see a figure in a white coat wearing a wooden mask. They extend a gloved hand towards you. "All in good time, Miss Douglas.
Thank you for the invitation.
I draw only the most interesting, the most beautiful to my galas. You, my dear, are indeed interesting. Such lovely skin."
Shadows in the Smoke is a Kitten Marlowe production. This episode was edited and produced by Kim Dalton and featured a theme song by Jake Pierle. You can find out more about us by visiting kittenmarlowe.com, signing up for our newsletter, or following us on socials. For Discord access, an exclusive behind-the-scenes show, and more, visit patreon.com/kittenmarlowe and join my mom and dad, Janet and Randall Dalton, in supporting artist-driven storytelling. Thanks for listening.